welcome to my Leon A Hardcore S Plus walkthrough. I hope this video can be of help to people who are maybe not so good at this game. I've carefully devised strategies that are both fast enough to get you your time and safe enough for you to, well, not certainly get through it, but get through it as safely as anybody possibly could while still making the recommended time, or rather the required time. What you see here is just the beginning of the game, and if it's pretty much just a set piece, although any bullets you do expend here will be counted. But if you get bit by one of these guys, you're gonna be healed afterwards because it's magic. This guy. Sometimes he'll just zero right in on you, like the dude's got a tractor beam, and he'll just walk over to you and you can pop him in the leg. But I recommend you just start over if that happens, because you don't want to be wasting ammo this early. And rest assured, it happens to everybody. It happens to everybody, and it's nothing to be ashamed of.
Attention all citizens.
Turn around here and give this lady a wide berth. She'll scream at you and not do much else. Leon's about to make a pertinent observation here.
Shit.
It's everybody's shit. They've all turned. You know, just a minute ago, literally a minute ago, he was telling Claire earnestly, in calm and reasoned tones, it cannot be everybody. It's a huge city. Can't be everybody. And then he sees 10 zombies, and all of a sudden it's everybody. Okay, this guy, he can bite you too, and his placement seems to not be the same every time. Maybe it's just my imagination, but what I like to do is kind of run to the right, a little right, while his head is turned, because his head is turned in a really weird direction, and then jerk left around him. And again, if he bites you, it happens, so don't be surprised or worried that you suck. It happens to everyone. That's just my way of doing it, sort of fake right and then go left. Now what I'm doing here is, you don't have to do this, but I like to pick up the herb. I want to build up a big stockpile of herbs and health items and get this thing on your gun as quickly as possible. The the combination here is 6211. It'll just make it easier, so you don't have to do it later, and you can just get through these rooms more quickly. More expeditiously. We're going to go downstairs and put these things in the item box. Now, you don't have to follow everything I do to a T, but one thing I've worked out very carefully in this walkthrough and in my Claire walkthrough, which I'll publish later, is the usage of the item box and the inventory. You should pay very careful attention to that, because half of the battle of getting this S plus rank is inventory management. You need to know what to carry with you, what you're going to be picking up, and what you can safely leave behind. Get some ammo off this guy. And that's where a lot of the work lies, in figuring out how to craft strategies for this. It's particularly difficult with Claire. It's not so difficult with Leon. I think anyone can pretty well manage it, because you're really just using the shotgun for most of the game. The handgun, it really only comes into play here and maybe for the dogs in the kennel, but after that it's pretty much all shotgun and then flamethrower for bosses. Now there's a technique coming up here that you're just going to have to practice. I recommend you make a save on hardcore before you get here. Practice getting past that guy. And this. You have to walk in a kind of straight line, hugging the locker and I kind of head towards the wall in case that guy double leap grabs at you, he won't get you. But if you sort of bump into the locker or zigzag a little when you're running towards those zombies, you're going to run right into his face and he's going to grab you or she's going to grab you. And you're going to think, I did exactly what the person I was watching did and I got grabbed. I still get grabbed sometimes. People will tell you it's 100% consistent, and it is if you do it right. But you gotta be on point. That's what the other half of this mode is, I'm saying. It's inventory management and precision. Be precise with your movements, and the mechanics in this game are very goofy. I don't know any other way to put it. They're goofy. It takes me a while to get used to them every time I turn it on. And when I was recording this walkthrough, I had just done an S+ playthrough the day before. I turn it on, and it's like I never played it before. It took me like 6 tries to get my first save, point here. Because I kept getting bit on that part, or I kept getting bitten going into the RPD. I was playing like a damn fool. And it's simply because if you look at him, it's really hard to tell when you're just watching, but if you play, it's like he's floating. I saw someone on a forum describe it like this. They said he and Claire both move like boats, you know, and they do. It's almost like they're gliding instead of there's nothing hard about when they're running. They're just kind of gliding downstairs and across floors, and they move like sailboats. They really do, and they're slow as hell. They don't run. They don't really jog. They kind of power amble. Power walk or something. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's tough to get used to, and it's tough to be precise with it. So I recommend you just make your save file early on in the RPD and practice those moves. They will be essential for saving ammo. You know, you don't want to kill those guys. You do want to kill these guys. You want to clear out the west hallway to the extent possible. We're going to go in here and get some handgun ammo because we're going to need it. This is going to be a just massacre everything in this hallway run right now. But these 2 guys that we just killed, you want to just try to take out their legs and mix it up with your knife and your handgun, because you don't want your knife to break too early. You're not going to get another one until you get into the library, and there are 2 very tanky zombies when you get up the stairs. Now, they're not a problem with Claire because you can let them just fall over the railing and blow them away with the flame rounds later on. But with Leon, you don't want to do that. You want to save your shotgun ammo as much as possible because we're not going to be getting the Magnum. You can get it if you want it, but it's really not worth it. In any case, grab the handgun rounds off this lady and shoot this gentleman in the leg so that he won't... Yeah, okay. These... You know, I mean, it looked easy there, but these guys can be a real pain in the ass. They are tough. And particularly the woman, she can take a beating with the headshots. So I used to try to take her out with the headshots, but she would so frequently take 8 or 9 that I just said screw it and just started taking out her leg with the bullets and then knifing her to death. That is what I would heartily suggest you do. You take out her legs, and don't hope you get lucky with a crit because it's probably not going to happen. Here we go. 1. Missed. Yeah, well, I got really lucky there. Sometimes her leg is just an indestructible force of nature, and the bullet coming into it is an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object. Ooh, now look at that. That is a way that this game trolls you. You know, I call it the 1 HP crit. You'll beat the shit out of these zombies, slice them and dice them, give them 10 headshots, chop their legs and arms off, and on their very last HP point, the game will give you a crit. It is, the game really walks a fine line sometimes between interesting variability, interesting unpredictability, and just outright trolling you. It's tough, and it gets very frustrating, particularly on hardcore difficulty. You're going to have to be willing to put up with a lot of that to get through this. In any case, you grab the what is that, the spade key, I think it is. Anyway, it's the only key you're getting in this part of the game. Run in here, combine the handgun powder, make the bullets. We're going to be generally using powder with the white powder to make shotgun ammo. This guy hanging from the ceiling, you didn't really see him there, but you might see him on the way out. We're going to kill him eventually, but it's more intellectually stimulating to blow his fucking head off with a shotgun. Yeah. Okay, now I need to tell you something about this room. The way I handled this room is bad. You do not have to kill the 3 live options in this room, which namely the woman walking around, this Mr. Tubby there, in a food coma, and the dude eating ass over on the other side. You really only have to take out the woman, because if you don't walk down this aisle by this by Tubby there, he won't wake up. And if you kind of hug the right side of the door and walk out, just don't make any noise and wake him up. You see how I'm being ginger approaching right now to make sure this woman is dead. I don't want to wake. I didn't want to wake him up, but I do wake him up. Look at this. Look at how tanky he is. Look. I'm just gonna spoil the fun here and tell you I hit him with 10 headshots. 10 to make him, and 1 shot in the body to make Tubby go down. And you know, you simply don't have to. Ever. You do not have to wake this guy up. And I rectify this mistake in my Claire S+ walkthrough. But this one, just don't do this. Don't do this. Don't kill this guy. And don't kill the guy eating ass. The only time the guy eating ass will aggro on you is if you come down the ladder. And you are never going to be coming down the ladder. But regardless, I did get some interesting footage out of this because I gave this guy some karma. He's eating ass, and I want you to see how I end up killing this guy. It's an interesting critical point, an interesting crit shot. Particularly fascinating. Okay, now watch this, watch this. Slice and dice, give him the old chopperoo. Now watch this. Boom. I shot him in his gluteus maximus. I shot him in his ass. I killed him with an ass shot. I mean, karma is a bitch. Move this over once, and don't do this. Move the one on the left together with this one to your right once, and get the handgun ammo back there. I just don't get it because handgun ammo is not that important to me. I've already killed everyone I really need to kill in this part of the game, so I just kind of let it go. I do get it in my Claire walkthrough. It's up to you. It's not necessary, but if you move the last shelf together with the second to last shelf to the right once, there'll be handgun ammo back there. I'm not proud of the way I handled the library here. Kill only the woman, move the shelves, pick up the knife off the body, and walk out. Do not walk past Tubby. Remember that. Walk around the other way and then walk by him when you go out the door. Walk, I mean, do not run or power walk, the power glide, the sailboat glide. Just walk, okay? You'll save ammo, you'll save trouble. It's just a hell of a lot easier. So what are we doing here? You know, why am I taking this extra time? Am I going to see Claire now? No, I'm not. Okay, what we're going to do now is just go over here, use the last usage of our spade key and get rid of it, pick up board number 2, and pick up our shotgun card from this room to the right. And immediately we're going to go back to the West Hall, board up 2 windows, and get our shotgun. Why? I'll tell you why. Because on hardcore difficulty is very different in a not entirely pleasing way from standard difficulty in the following way. What normally stuns zombies, meaning 90-95% of the time on standard difficulty, a face shot, a shot to the thigh, a shot to the foot, does not normally stun zombies on hardcore. Perhaps it's better than random chance, 50-60%, but 50-60% is not good enough. And if you do not board these windows up, when you come back to this hall after going to see Claire outside and getting the bolt cutters and such, this hallway is going to be power-packed with zombies, okay? And you're going to at least have to stun one of them quickly with a leg or a headshot, and it's not going to happen reliably enough for you to be happy. And for me, I was really sick of having runs end there just out of the interest of saving 2 minutes. That I just said, you know, screw it, man. Just go do this, be safe, board up the hallway, and you never have to worry about it. That's it. So we're getting our the last ammo pouch we're going to be getting in the game until the labs right here. And the combination, of course, is 9, 15, 7. And it's not, as I said before, it's not incredibly difficult to deal with the limited inventory for Leon. But for Claire, it's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. The password here is Ned Mr. G. That's how I remember it. Ned Mr. G. Yeah, see, these different pieces for this gun, they're all going on the Matilda for Leon. But for Claire, you got one that goes on her little squirt pistol thing that magically turns into a Magnum later. And you got another one that goes on a handgun she doesn't get until the garage. So, just an example of how difficult it is to manage inventory, limited inventory of hardcore difficulty with Claire. She's also got 2 types of rounds for her grenade launcher, acid and flame rounds, whereas Leon just is dealing with handgun, shotgun, and if you want the Magnum, but that's it. Anyway, now we're finally going to see Claire outside, at least in the cutscene.
Marvin,
and
situation here.
I want to recommend to you that you don't speed immediately into this room like I do, because very occasionally that cop zombie that bull rushed you when you ran out of the door earlier will be standing right in the middle of the hall, and you will run right into his loving arms right there. It happens more often with Claire. Maybe that's just coincidence, but you know, there's no problem in just walking there. This room is dangerous. If you are not quick, you can get overwhelmed really quickly. and die. You can get overwhelmed quickly and die. And this cop in particular, Cop Zed, you want to just peek to your left when you come out of that room and make sure he's not ambushing you like he was me, and if he is, just run around. When you come out of that door, kind of come out on the left side, because occasionally, again, those zombies you see right there, they're waiting right outside, and they'll just grab you as soon as you open the door. Shit happens in this mode. Again, it looks really smooth and easy now, but I remember I told you this was my 6th run on this day. So you just need to, as I said earlier, be precise. We're going to board up this last window here. For some reason, this zombie never really makes an appearance again. I don't know what the hell happens to him, but I don't know. Yeah, just let him come in. You don't have to kill him or anything. Just board up the window and peace out. So what we're doing now is we're proceeding to our last phase in the RPD of getting the 3 medallions. That's ultimately what we're finishing up now. You get the detonator, you pick up your green herb, you get another flash grenade, go out into the hallway and go up the stairs. And use the wheel and get into the RPD room for the battery. That's it. And then you go and blow up the detonator in the detonator room and get your 3 medallions. But like I was saying, precision, okay? You're gonna get trolled enough in certain parts of this game where it's gonna force you to think. You know, like coming out of that door, I better inch or lurch left coming out of this door because they grab me sometimes if I come out in the middle or on the right. That liquor there, by the way, is not going to aggro on you. So you can just run into this room. I walk just because I don't know. Liquors are cool. They don't fuck with you if you don't fuck with them. It's honor amongst thieves. Armistice. Make yourself some shotgun ammo, and then pick up your first aid. We're going to have just enough to get all 3 of our medallions before we go to face Birkin. It's all quiet on the western front over here, and we're just gonna head upstairs. Yeah, so precision. It takes a while to get into the groove, as Madonna would say, get into the groove of this game and its mechanics. For me, it's just, I guess it's easier for other people, and this guy I think is ready to be stimulated now. Yeah, he felt that splat. Yeah, it's hard to get into the groove of the mechanics of this game, and you just got to do it by repetition, really, by practice. Now, a lot of people leave this room and wait for it to blow, you know, and then move so they don't have to move the bookshelf. I don't really care. It's like 10 seconds, but the key point here, you do not have to get hit by this liquor, and you do not have to use a flash grenade to avoid it. All right? Run straight at him, just like you do with the liquor in the labs. Hook a left right when he's about to jump at you, and he will just fly past you, and you're home free. Again, I do it in my Claire run, and the fact that I never thought to do it is asinine. Look at that. I mean, it's just so ugly, and I knew there had to be a way to get past him, but I'm so fucking retarded, like, it never occurred to me to do just what I do in the labs on that guy. You just run straight at him. Anyway, I owe that insight to a YouTuber who I ran into on GameFAQs who goes by the name Optinoob, and he's made 2 extremely good walkthroughs for S-plussing these difficulties, or rather hardcore difficulty with both of these characters. I highly recommend them. I'll probably link to them because I just want to do a good turn by someone who helped me out. I do some things differently than him. For example, he does not board up the windows in the west hallway, and I just think that's essential for novice players, or players who, like me, are just not good at reliably stunning zombies on this difficulty for some reason. The way he deals with G2, it's very different, particularly with Claire. He uses spark shot and I don't, and so forth. And it would be beneficial for you to have a plethora of options to choose from for how to deal with these bosses and these sections. As maybe you are better, you know, and you're more worried about time or something, but you don't have to worry about time. This run finishes at 2 hours. Now, we're out of here at what was that, 25 minutes, 26 minutes? We're out of this game in 2 hours. We had a half hour to spare. You know, theoretically, you could have almost spent an hour in the RPD and still finish the game under time. It's very generous. The time is not the problem, at least on the A scenarios. It's a problem on the B scenarios, mainly because the RPD, you do got to kind of run and shoot your way through it and stun people. It's tough. But you have more powerful guns there and so forth. Anyway, the tough part is the saves. You're going through regardless of where you choose to save, you're going to be going through a large chunk of the game without saving, because it's a game that exists structurally in 4 parts and you're restricted to 3 saves. So essentially, some 2 parts you're going to have to play continuously, and my preference is to play the first half of the game consistently, or rather continuously. My strategy for Birkin, and again I'm playing on a PS4, is just to, it's nothing special. There's no special sauce with Birkin. I'll knife him. It's not gonna kill him or do extraordinary damage like it does on PC, but I'll knife him until he grabs me, and then I'll stab him, and then I'll shotgun him twice, and then I'll chuck a frag grenade at him, and then I'll kite him around and, you know, Matilda him to death, and that's pretty much it. Again, it's a rhythm thing. It's a mechanics thing. It's feeling comfortable with the room and knowing how to kite him in a circle and knowing where you are. It can be tough. It's a tough fight if you are not comfortable and familiar with it. Even I get wrecked once here because I get clipped on something. You'll see it. He did something he never really done to me before. He kind of broke off chasing me at one point and tried to outflank me on the other side, and I was so shocked. I was like, usually he just runs away when he does that and then ambushes you. But here, he literally like stopped chasing me and then cut around the other way and tried to cut me off. So I was like, what the hell? I didn't know what was going on, and I kind of turned around and tried to go in the circle counterclockwise. And I got clipped right on that corner right there you're looking at, to my diagonal left, and he fucking whacked me. I was really upset because I was really hoping to no damage this guy. But I can't have nice things, and maybe it's for the best anyway. The key thing with Birkin here is patience. A lot of things in this game, patience is of the essence. You want to get this over quick. You feel this ticking clock in your head. He's not going to catch you. You know, you keep running. He will chase you around that circle forever if you have a certain distance from him. Knowing that, you see me running him around here. Ruff, 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 ruff. You'll see me occasionally like shaking and jiggling my camera back and forth, or stutter stepping. And the reason I do that is because, again, if you're at a certain distance from him, he will just chase you forever. And he won't swing, and he won't do anything. He'll just run you around like fucking Wile E. Coyote chasing the Roadrunner. So you gotta kind of stutter step or, you know, jiggle the camera back and forth to give the AI the illusion that he's like catching up to you. And then you'll hear him make a couple of noises. He'll either go and swing his thing, or he'll make that right there. He'll make what I call his large constipation sound, where he goes, oh, you know, like he's really straining and giving himself a fucking hernia. You're listening see, there it is. What the fuck was that? He just dropped off and tried to outflank me. Now here I get clipped, watch. Oh, clipped, he gets me. Man, that hitbox, wow. Anyway, don't try to heal up right away, just run first, because he likes to double whack you if he does grab you or hit you. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, you're looking for that listening for that large constipation sound. Because if you're not really good at quick turning and turning around and getting a poke in at him every now and then, you're gonna mistake a lot of his other groans for his large constipation groan. You're gonna mistake the constipation minora for the constipation majora, and you need to learn those sounds. Okay, so I'm listening for it now. You see him chasing me because I'm trying to get my bearings, and then I'm gonna make my move. I'm gonna start zigzagging. You see this to give the AI the illusion. See, he kind of narrow. Boom. There is the constipation, and you lose, big guy. Yeah. So it's a simple fight in concept. It's simple to explain. Be patient, run around in circles, and if he gets in this pattern where he's Wile E. Coyoting you, just kind of zigzag and trick the AI, and listen for the major hernia constipation sound that he makes, and then pop him, and that's it. But you know, it's easy to get clipped on things. It's easy to get stuck on corners. It's easy to kind of lose your bearings on the map. And those are the things that come with practice. So again, I recommend you make a save before Birkin and just practice it up, 10 times or something. 10 times is usually enough with these guys. Unfortunately, the knife strategy doesn't work. At least the way that it works on PC. And whenever I try to use, like, say, 2 knives on this guy, he always hits me. I mean, he doesn't grab me like I want him to, so I can stab him twice. He just swings his fucking golf club around and just knocks my skull in pieces. So it's I don't like to do that. I just one knife, that's it, and then I'll chuck a grenade at him. Now another thing you need to know is that frag grenade that we used in this fight is the last frag grenade that we're going to use except for one. The only other place I permit myself to use a frag grenade is in the sewers with the G-monsters, and that's because knives do not stun them long enough reliably for you to get by them. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but a frag grenade will always stun them long enough to let you get by them. But other than that, do not, please, for the love of everything holy, do not use frag grenades. You do not need to, and they will save your ass on the final boss. They will make him a piece of piss. Piss easy. Okay? Take my advice. Refrain. And if you're following the walkthrough, you'll see easily how to avoid, using your frag grenades too much. Birkin in the sewers, otherwise shelve them. And the same with flash grenades. We're going to use a couple to get out of the RPD, and I don't believe I use another one for the rest of the game. You get enough knives to where you don't really have to rely on your grenades. So now we're coming up to a part of the game that many people just find either frustratingly difficult or just obnoxious. And I'm sort of in the latter camp. I am not a fan of Mr. X, aka Tyrant. He's going to be the final boss in the game in his transformed, morphed form, I guess, where he turns into Hercules. But he's going to be chasing you around the RPD after you trigger him, and you know the effects are cool, and the boot stomping is nerve-wracking, and he's supposed to make your butt pucker and all of that, and he does. The music is great. The accompanying soundtrack for Mr. X is probably the best score in the game, although I think the escape theme music is excellent as well. It had a lot to live up to because the escape theme music in the original was excellent. At any rate, they did a lot right with Mr. X. He's well designed. The conception is well executed. It all works. You know, the concept was put into practice very well. He's doing his job. You know, you see this on the boards all the time. You know, you don't like Mr. X, but the reasons you don't like him is what he's supposed to be doing. Agreed. It's what he's supposed to be doing. It's his job. But I think it was a job that should have not been done. I think the job should have been left to the B campaigns like it was in the original Resident Evil 2. If they had left Mr. X to the B campaigns, that would have been awesome. And I think that would have been a really good way to differentiate the two more than they are at this point, because right now all you can really say is there's more Mr. X. He shows up earlier in the B campaign. It's like, wow, amazing, you know. And if you also, you know, for people who don't like Mr. X, you know, they would have a campaign where they could play Resident Evil the way they expect to play Resident Evil, which is pacing themselves and patiently kind of living in quiet dread, as opposed to having something that can feel a little bit like Outlast, especially on your first playthrough when you don't know what the fuck you're doing and where the fuck you're going. And that's disconcerting. You don't want your Resident Evil games feeling like Outlast even a little bit. And I know that's controversial. A lot of people think that's ridiculous, but I'm just telling you how I felt. You know, when I in my first playthrough, I felt this game suddenly transform into an Outlast game for about 20 minutes there, and I was like, and then it just stopped, and I was like, what the fuck was that? The fuck? It was baffling. Like I couldn't understand what was happening. What kind of game is this? What is this? Is this guy going to be following me the whole time? I don't mean to complain too much about it. Once you understand what you're after in the RPD and what you're going for, he's not an issue, and he's really not hard to deal with. His AI is pretty consistent, actually. This is one of the reasons that I like to save when we get to the sewers, as opposed to saving before or after Birkin 1, because actually the section with Mr. X on the return to the RPD is very consistent. As long as you follow the path that I follow here, you won't have any problems, because he does the same damn thing every time. And as long as you've strategized ahead of time, as long as you, as I would say, always have an out, he won't get you. You know where your rooms are, where you can run him in and kite him around. And that's it. And besides, you're only going to like 2 rooms. I like to clear out these dogs, because it just makes your return or rather your exit from the RPD much smoother, and makes it much less likely that the dogs are going to do anything dastardly. And boy, they tend to. If anybody's played Force Survivor or the Tofu Survivor games, well, you know how problematic dogs can be, to put it gently. And point your reticle right about there and fire off 4 shots. Now, I'm running a little low on ammo here, and I usually like to kill the dogs outside in the garage with my Matilda, but I didn't. I thought I would miss too much, so I wanted to more rely on my shotgun, and I just said, "Fuck it, come to me, Cujo, and just let me fire away." Look at me, 1, 2, 3. I missed 3 shots, but they kind of group around, and they'll just put you on caution if they hit you once, and generally they calm down, and then you can just pick them off. But it's much safer to park yourself in the door and kind of poke your head out, and don't get too close to the exit, because although they can't come inside, they can kind of come half inside when they jump at you, and they can still hit you when you're poking your gun out the door. So be careful. I just saw an outtakes video from Seraphim17, who was trying to do a no damage run on the B campaign, and he just got clipped just a little teeny bit, just a little teeny bit by the dog. It was kind of bullshit, but that's what they are. They're bullshit. The dogs are bullshit. Now, not to cut it off, but I want to make a point to you here. Look at this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Son of a bitch.
I hit that motherfucker with 8 shots to the leg and 4 on the other leg, and look at his fucking arm came off. His leg didn't even come off. Now, the point I want to make to you is that these zombies in this room, do not underestimate them. Do not take them lightly. They will fuck your shit up, and they will eat your ass. Okay? Don't just bull rush in here thinking you're going to get an easy headshot on them. You might, but you probably won't. So I recommend you draw them out like I did, and either shoot them in the legs with the shotgun and put them on the ground, and then take them out. I just used my handgun because I didn't want to waste my shotgun ammo, and look what happened. He turns into fucking an M1A1 tank, with legs made of titanium. It's ridiculous. But remember this. Those zombies are consistently son of a bitches. Don't fuck with them. All right? Heed my words. If you have to spend 4 shotgun shells, 1 to the leg, 1 to the head for each of them, do it. Okay? Because if you're not saving up to this point, they can end your run. They'll gang up on you real fast, and they won't give you a chance to heal. Play it safe with those guys. Okay? You can play it more risky with, like I did with the dogs or something, and you always have a safe place to run. But if you fuck up with these guys, they may not let you escape. They may not let you run. So our goal here is pretty much just to get in and out of here as fast as possible. We're not going to dick around with the badge or the box or the jewel or the magnum or any of that crap. We're just going to get the wheel. Get the wheel. Get to the clock. Get the crank. Get to the clock tower and get out. It shouldn't take more than 5 or 6 minutes, I guess. And it's really easy. It's really easy. You just have to imagine a pattern in this game, a psych job. The psych job that this game plays on you, the way that it tries to psych you out. It's brilliant. I give it that. You know, it's brilliant. The game is geared to make you feel like patient is the one thing you cannot be at any point. It makes you feel like you're constantly under duress. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Okay? The zombies are growling. Their sounds are all around you. Mr. X's boots are stomping. Birkin is on your ass. Whatever. Okay? And if you're going for an S+ rank or an S rank, it's even worse. But actually, you can be very patient. You can be extraordinarily patient with most of the things. And that's a key to winning most of the fights in this game. Okay, that was a warning shot, I guess. These zombies, too, they zigzag a lot. They're not particularly dangerous like the other ones, but you're liable to miss them. Look at this guy. You see how he's kind of hanging his head like that? That's a short round zombie. They're like these little, like... They have these... I don't know. I call them short round. I'm sure you know what I'm referring to when I say that. But, yeah, back to my point. Patience. There's no shame if you miss a shot on a zombie and you want to salvage your dignity by standing your ground and getting a headshot or staggering him. Like, you hit him in the leg once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. He's getting closer to you. Surely he will stagger on the 5th. Surely he will stagger on the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. No. Don't assume that. Do not assume that. If he's not staggered by the 4th shot and he's getting a little close to you, he's getting a little close to you, run. Run. And run far. Get your distance and then stand your ground, focus your shot. Look at these guys. Look at this. You shoot this fucking guy and you're too close to him, he will fall on you. Look at that. She tripped over him and she made me miss a shot. It was funny as hell, but I was very angry because she made me waste a shotgun shell. But this actually happened to me. You shoot the guy in front and you get too close to him, he'll fall on you. And Leon kind of grabs him and pushes him off, but while Leon grabs him, the girl in the back will jump at you and bite you. It's bullshit, okay? But it's because they're kind of luring you in, thinking you got to do it really quickly. You don't. All right? You don't have to kill Birkin in 2 minutes. You do not have to. You may be impressed with the speedrunners and all of that. They are impressive, but you don't have to do that. If it takes you 10 minutes to kill him, so fucking what? You got out of the station in 30 minutes. You got plenty of time. Okay? Get your distance, get your pace, get the feel of the fight, take a shot when you have it, listen for the constipation sound and whatever. All right? With Mr. X, he's not going to catch up to you. All right? If you have your distance from him and, you know, he hasn't already punched you or grabbed you, he runs at your pace. Know your outs, know the map, know where to take him. You're going to see it here, and you're going to see it even more in my Claire run. Because he sprung some surprises on me there. Patience. So the game sets it up so that it's constantly making you feel like in a panic mode. All right, like this constant sense of anxiety, like you gotta hurry, because you just want this to be over. But generally speaking, the optimal strategy for dealing with each situation, including the boss fights, is patience. Keep your distance. Claire's final boss. Keep your distance. Don't get too close to him. Don't get up to him thinking you gotta, get up in his shit and, end the fight really quickly. No. Patience. Patience is the virtue in this game. Indeed, in Claire's campaign, walking, I just want a title. If you want an S+ in Claire's campaign, you know, learn to walk. Walking is the biggest virtue. So what you see me doing here, it's a little, I don't know if it's a glitch or something, but you come in there, there's going to be a licker, and if you leave the hallway, his pathing resets, and he goes over to the other hallway, so he's not in this hallway anymore. So just kind of enter, you'll hear him scream, leave, let the door shut, and then come back in, and he's gone. Now, this is my point with Mr. X. He's gonna come here. He's gonna come here. Every time. He might not come immediately. He might be out there, you know, taking his sweet-ass time. But I'm waiting for him here. I know he's coming, and I know where my out is. Don't try to rush by him. Don't throw a flash grenade. Don't waste it. Go back in here. Look at what you have. This is all you need. Kite him around. You're out of here. He's done. That's it. And generally speaking, in both Leon and Claire's campaign, you have rooms that he's guaranteed to come to when you pick up your key item. But they're designed in such a way that he can be cheesed, you know. So here's the reason we moved those bookshelves earlier, and it's because now with Mr. X on your ass, you just have to move these once to the right. And that's it, and you're done. And it would be the same if we had moved this last bookshelf over to get the handgun ammo in there. Same two bookshelves, just move them to the right one time, and you're done. This zombie around the corner here, beware of him. Approach gingerly. Don't worry too much about lining up a headshot. Try and get him in the head, but if you don't, shoot him twice, put him down. If you take too much time trying to line up a headshot, he's gonna close on you very fast, and you're gonna miss and get bitten, and then Mr. X might come up and smash your fucking head in, and you'll die. So, again, just something you need to know. You know, you not all zombies are equal in this game, and that zombie in particular is an ambush zombie. That's what I would call him, an ambush zombie. He's designed to ambush you. If you know he's there, focus more on just putting him on the ground. All right, try to get the headshot, but do it quick. And if you miss, so what? Shoot him again and put him down. Put him down like the sick puppy he is. So we are, we're pretty much done here. That's it. I mean, that's all we need to do with Mr. X. He's triggered when you go outside. You already have the key, and you're just going straight to the room to get the crank for the library. You saw how we dealt with that. Kite him around. You have a free path up here after you do that. Don't get bit by the ambush zombie. And here you are. You're done. Finito. It's over. All you got to do is just make sure our boy, the tyrant out there, isn't lingering around, waiting to push your shit in. And with Leon, it's great. You got two pretty easy paths back to your destination, so you don't necessarily need to leave through one door as much as Claire does. And you'll see that happen here, I believe. I believe it was this playthrough where this happened. The tyrant is out there fucking with me. He won't like fuck off to the left. And he keeps chasing me here, and then when he walks away, he'll just walk back. It's much easier to get back where you need to go out the far door over there. But he just wouldn't cooperate with me. He's probably angry that I cheesed him so much. Or you know, you have various theories about Mr. X. You know, he's ugly and surly and maybe a little retarded, and nobody ever loved him, and he never had a friend. He's like Lenny from Of Mice and Men or something. I don't know. But all jokes aside, you can just go this way if he blocks your path to the far door. It's a little longer, but you know, so you get to the same destination. You know, just a little bit more circuitous. Take the scenic route. And all you need to know from this point on to the sewers is take 2 flash grenades to the basement to be safe. It's very possible, not the basement, the garage. The garage. Let's call it the garage. It's possible to dodge Mr. X, aka Tyrant, in the garage, but it's a tighter space than it seems. I've done it before, but I've also got hit before trying to dodge him, and you really can afford to spend 2 flash grenades here, so do it. Make it easy on yourself, because after this, you're home free. You're gonna make it to the save point. Okay, you're done. So use your 2 flash grenades and get the fuck out of here. Give yourself a pat on the back. You can see why I prefer the method of getting this large portion of gameplay over with first, and then reserving, you know, the shorter segments for last in the sewers and in the lab. Because actually, the only hard part, the only really hard part in this first half of the game is the initial section in the RPD. And if you fuck that up, you really don't lose that much time. You just start it over. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes at most. The worst possibility, I guess, is you fuck up Birkin, which does happen. You get too greedy, or you get impatient, and or you get clipped on something a couple of times. You run out of healing items. Who knows? It does happen. I still die on Birkin sometimes. That's the biggest tragedy that can happen to you. But other than that, you get past Birkin as long as you're careful. All right, like don't get too greedy with the dogs. Don't get too greedy with the ambush zombies and so forth. Don't get too cocky around Mr. X. You'll make it. This part is very consistent, as I've been emphasizing. See, now, you can lure Mr. X back into this room and run around it, but I don't recommend that. Just be sure he doesn't punch you after you throw your flash grenade. He does that rather frequently. Hit these babes with a flashbang. Bye, babes. Bye, babes. You're done. And now we say hello to Ada Wong. Ada Wong, who I like to point my reticle at. I try to point my reticle at her a lot, and the game won't let you do it. So it's not like Resident Evil 4 where you can actually shoot the merchant. You can't fire a shot at Ada. She has special powers, I guess, apart from being in the FBI. You can't point guns at her. She doesn't even duck like Ashley did. I always thought that was pretty cool.
Is that the intel you needed?
Yeah, they did a good job with Ada in this game. It's probably the best incarnation of Ada, I think. She has an enticing vulnerability about her, apart from the fact that she's absolutely indestructible, and you can't point guns at her. That's her. I love that fucking special power. It's wonderful. Yeah. See, see me trying to point my reticle at her. it looks like I'm just dropping my aim, but I'm not. The game is actually forcing me to put my gun down. Yeah. So, you know, pick up the extension for your shotgun in here, of course, and get the grenade, and then let's head to the sewers.
Heard of the Umbrella Corporation?
Ada's gonna give you a little
They're
spiel about
pharmaceutical
Umbrella.
company secretly making bioweapons. They have
Yeah,
a virus.
not so secretly, I
Turns
guess,
people into
Ada. If
indestructible
everybody knows about it,
That
and there's
explains the
zombies
horrible things
everywhere.
I've seen.
Indestructible monsters, she says. Make them into indestructible monsters. It's kind of like Ada, right? You can't point a gun at her. She falls into an endless abyss and survives unscathed. Even a sharp metal
Based on what you've
scrap
said,
jammed in her
seriously
leg
fit.
barely puts a dent in her perfect composure.
Gee, thanks.
Okay, you know, seeing
Can't
a
imagine
pattern
real
here.
scientists being down here.
And how's this for a bold interpretation? Okay, how's this for a bold interpretation? Listen, the zombie apocalypse
Sewers are run
and
by the
Umbrella in
How could they
Leon's
have a facility
campaign
without the
is
authorities
a deep metaphor, a sophisticated, subtle allegory for the imposing goddess archetype Ada embodies for Leon. It's genius. And for Claire, Claire, look, we all know her brother Chris punches boulders, and he's inhumanly jacked up with forearms forearms larger than most grown men's upper legs. It's Claire's dependency on her brother. All right, that's the metaphor. She has terrible taste in men, as we've learned throughout the years, and deep down, you know, she has to realize that she just wants a doppelganger for her brother, a desire that she rebels against by chasing edgy transgressives and posing as a kind of Hell's Angel.
Holy shit!
I mean, who said Resident Evil wasn't, right? Who said it wasn't? I mean, it's at least as deep as a sewer. Real Resident Evil fans know. Real fans, the ones that get that it's not about zombies, but about people, man. It's about people. It's what is it? It's intellectually stimulating.
Chew on that. You
Yeah,
overgrown son
but
of a
in
bitch.
in all seriousness, though, I can sincerely say that one of the things that I most appreciate and have always appreciated about Resident Evil is how pulpy and schlocky and
Leon, up here.
non-pretentious it is.
What the hell
It wants to be fun,
Just get
a
up
lot, scary to an extent, a breeze to relate to with just a little imagination,
here. Can't say I didn't
atmospheric,
You said the
and
virus turned
about as
people into
cool as the
monsters,
Antarctic
not
basin
reptiles.
Code Veronica.
warn you. I'm just impressed you
Period.
made it in one piece.
Nothing more, but absolutely nothing less. In a way, it shows how much more stimulating, quote unquote, just 100% being what you are, whether as a person or as a work of
So let me
art
get this
or
straight.
even
Umbrella sells
architecture or
monsters like that
furniture,
to
or
who?
anything
Our
really,
military?
how much more
Somebody else's?
interesting
They
and
don't sell the
immersive,
monsters. They sell the viruses
sheer,
that make them.
unapologetic
And
being
Annette is who
can
makes the
be
viruses.
than all this
Carries that out
dog
in the
shit
world.
that tries
And that's
so
dangerous.
embarrassingly hard to be whatever, you know, Dostoevsky or Freud, when it's just a fucking video game. We're going to be making our first save here and then moving on to Ada's section. Sorry, there's a lot of cutscenes in this part, so I'm just kind of rambling. And if you made it here, give yourself a pat on the back again. You know, a loud, you did it. I mean, the S plus is in the bag. It's in the bag if you made it to this point. You essentially got two 20-minute chunks of gameplay left and the final boss gauntlet, which isn't that bad if you save your grenades. And we're at what? 102. Sorry, it's really small on my screen right now. 102. Yeah. So anyway, what was I saying? Right, it's just a fucking video game. Video games, this is my opinion. Video games are at peak perfection when they are perfect examples of what they are and what nothing else can be, rather than striving to be what's novelistic or cinematic or psychoanalytic or, God forbid, political, due to some barely disguised envy of those different forums for expressing ideas. Video game ideas, specifically video game ideas, are visceral, almost lived experiences. And they're meant to be absorbed through something like actual interaction, seeping in through immersion, like the ideas do in life itself, like experience does in life itself. So consequently, I guess even the shittiest game at a narrative level can still be really fucking deep because of the experience it offers. Yeah. And the feelings and thus the ideas that experience evokes in us. The emotional ringer that, say, games on the hardest difficulty can put us through is incredible, really, and it's truly singular in the world of aesthetic experience. I keep coming back to it. It's truly singular. There is nothing like it in any other art form. Or I should say, no, there's a lot that's like it. Everything has analogies, but there's nothing exactly like it. So the way I suffer and overcome when I read 10 pages of fucking Finnegan's Wake or something is, it's nothing like the way I suffer and overcome when I make it to my first save point in RE2. And we should have more respect for that. Just as a culture, you know, as people, we should have more respect for that, what these offer completely. And not because it has any obvious utilitarian value. I just don't like justifying video games that way. You know, we're always kind of special pleading. They help us with our motor skills and our cognitive faculties and all that shit. I mean, it may be true, but I think they would be valuable even without all that shit. You know, it's just like the best art. It's valuable because it doesn't have any utilitarian value. Like anything obvious, it's just intrinsically life-enriching and life-enhancing. Intrinsically. At bottom, I guess I'm saying that's the mission of art. To enhance life through a combination of experience and understanding. Yeah. Not to save the world or quote-unquote solve problems or contribute to GDP or whatever the hell, you know, we think today comprises value. And Resident Evil games, when they click, they're like pure video games. The purest of the pure. Ever since the first one. And I gather that a lot of what fans started rebelling against in Resident Evil 5 and really in Resident Evil 6, it was a patent Hollywood influence. Yeah, a Hollywood influence that looked very bad in a series that should have walked with pride in the world, chest puffed out, arms akimbo, unapologetically being what it is. And this game here is Resident Evil 2 Remake, right here in front of you. This game here is so exciting in part because it at least affirms, says fuck yes to returning to that older attitude when the series had balls and staked a claim for video games, for their intrinsic value. I don't know, I mean, I can't really elaborate on it here because I'm kind of not giving you tips on the walkthrough. I hope you can just see it, but I'm rambling. I am saying that what we haven't exactly thought through what makes video games uniquely meaningful in their own way, and not just as second-rate interactive novels, movies, sports, or whatever. I mean, I don't know the answer either. I'm just thinking out loud. In a way, I guess, when Kojima said video games aren't art, he was right. Yeah, because I think what he meant by that was that they aren't art in the sense in which the term is conventionally understood. So they're not paintings, they're not movies, they're not symphonies, they're not books, they're not poems, they're not statues, they're not Gothic flying buttresses, and so on. They are video games are not those things, though like all those things, they share elements or material or modes of expression with them. But at their core, they are their own thing. See? Unique. Their artistic quality as a result it just isn't well understood. Yeah, so I guess I'm suggesting provocatively, it's just that we learn more about that by thinking about Resident Evil than by thinking about ostensibly more profound, deeper, more serious and ambitious games. I guess I can sum it up like this, almost like a Zen koan. The stupidity of Resident Evil is its genius. Boom. Now make me a Jill sandwich, motherfucker. So, we've now come to the sewers, and this part is really, there's not a lot to say about it, right? Which is why I've been rambling. You know, you have the G adults, which are a pain in the ass for everybody, and there's really no established way to fucking deal with them reliably unless you're willing to spam your sub weapons. All right, and we're not willing to do that. So the way to deal with them is to have some idea of what their attack patterns are and how to dodge them or when it's safe to try. Okay? And it's not going to work every time. So they have this little, like, I'll tell you something. The thing that made me that made me suspect that there was some real dastardliness going on in the designing of this game is if you look at the little mouth thing that they use to kind of puke on you and like spit their little G babies out of, like when they raise it up and they kind of wiggle when they go down, like doing a kind of submarine dance when they submerge into the water. It looks like a big dick. And I'm not just being lewd here, and I'm not just losing my mind or being, over imaginative or whatever. Like, this is some serious Little Mermaid shit. They just have a big dick for an arm. And a lot of this, let's see if you can see it here. You couldn't see it clearly, but I think you'll get a clear view of it later. And, like, I'm not saying it wasn't intentional because the thing does kind of have babies come out of it. And maybe they're like little poisonous sperm things, and it ejaculates poison on your face. I'm sorry, but that's what it does. And, a lot in this game is like fucking a little, it has a little bit of innuendo, I guess is the word. A little bit of subtle or not so subtle innuendo, right? So like fucking the way that Annette talks, like in the scene we just watched with Ada, saying, "You'll never get your filthy hands on the G." And it's like, why are you talking like that? She sounds like she's like using some sort of erotic innuendo in some porn movie, right? And like, I call this mode, like this attempt, like hardcore S+. Hardcore S+. I mean, it sounds like a degenerate form of pornography. I mean, maybe all pornography is degenerate, but a particularly decadent niche genre of pornography. Hardcore S+. All right? I call this mode porn mode. Okay? This is fucking porn mode. If you're going for S+ on hardcore, you are playing the fucking porn mode. And I wouldn't be surprised if they, like, patched in a new difficulty and fucking called it Gonzo mode or some shit, Like, just total... I don't know. I think they're just oblivious, but that's it, right? And, yeah, it's just all over the place in the game. It's like Michael Keaton's character in that movie, The Other Guys. He always spontaneously comes up with these maxims and bromides that all happen to be like old TLC songs. You know, like, like, don't go chasing waterfalls, guys. Stick to the rivers and the lake. Stick to the rivers and the lakes you're used to. You know, and these Capcom babes in the woods, I think they did the same thing, probably thinking it all sounded really cool, but it came out weirdly sexually suggestive. You know, why does Annette have to say, you know, filthy hands on the G, on the G, on the G? I can't sound seductive. I'm sorry. I'm way too rough around the edges. But it's a tone of voice suggesting seductive innuendo. The fuck, right? So, what I'm getting at here is the section that we're coming to. There's another a short round zombie right there. Look at him. Bingo. And this guy, I want to remark on this really quickly. You got to really line up that shot. Because he's kind of a tubby guy, and his back kind of hunches over his neck and covers half of the back of his head. And if you don't draw up his head like right in the middle of of the shotgun reticle, you're going to wind up kind of clipping his back fat, and it won't blow his head off. Just be mindful of that so you don't waste your shotgun shell. Anyway, this part we're coming up to with the G adults that drives everybody crazy. Carcinogen has a name for it, and I guess he and his speedrunner pals call it the Oregon Trail, which indeed is very clever. It's a very clever name for it, and feel free to use it because it's clever and it's nice, and it's the Oregon Trail because there's all the tissue lining the place seems to just be made out of various organs or comprising various organs, like you see. Well, I guess you're not seeing it here. This is still a shit river, but you will be seeing it shortly. But I have another name for it, and it kind of resonates with the unintentional don't go chasing waterfalls pornographic aspect of this game that's very bizarre. That Little Mermaid shit. I call it the G-spot. And it's where like all of the main G adults are located, and you know, you'll never get your filthy hands on the G, and it's porn mode, and yeah, and then they got their big like dick hand like waving all around and ejaculating all over the place, and yeah, I don't want to go too much into that because I think I'm gonna get like banned or something, but it's the G spot, and I think you understand where I'm coming from when I say that. So pick whichever name you like best, Oregon Trail or G spot, but I'm gonna refer to it as the G spot, and I hope I'll be forgiven by my speedrunner friends for creating a competing moniker with their rather clever moniker. This is a part of the game where you can go back and get your Magnum or your upgrades for your Magnum. There's a secret room back there. I don't recommend it. I mean, I highly don't recommend it. I would almost say it's a law. You can go back if you just want to see if you can do it, but otherwise, there is just no reason to do it. You just don't need the Magnum. Not for anything. The flamethrower is the shit. That's what you want. These guys can be bastards. So now that you have your upgraded shotgun, you can shoot him kind of at a distance. This guy in the back likes to creep up on you out of the shadows. So be mindful of that. He got me once on a dead run that I had for this. I actually made it to the end, but I fucked up so much that I thought it was useless as a walkthrough. So I did it all over again, and that's what you're watching now, just for you. However, I still fucked up on the G adults. I always do. And I think it's important for you to see that. It's important for you to see how you deal with it when you get fucked up, because again, people panic. You get grabbed, you use your one sub weapon, and then you kind of try to Jim Brown fullback your way through them, just power through their arms, and you can get stun locked. You're kind of half stun locking yourself because you're forcing the issue, and they're just not going to let you by. But you know, if they grab you once and you get turned around and you wind up running in the wrong direction, because I always get fucking turned around whenever they grab me. It's a nightmare. I mean, like a lot of things in this game, it's a nightmare. But it's a real nightmare when the G adults grab you, because they turn you around and you have no fucking idea what direction you're facing half the time. Am I still going in the direction I was running in? Am I running backwards? Usually I just kind of take a leap of faith and turn around and run. And sometimes I'll be going in the right direction, and most of the time I'm going in the wrong direction. But either way, it's good, because if you're running in the right direction, you're going to get away from them. If you're running in the wrong direction, you're going to get distance from them, and that's fine, because they're going to either lunge at you and, you know, maybe give you an opportunity to get past them when they let up, or they're going to submerge, in which case you can try to get by them. So anyway, we're coming to the G spot now. I'm going to have 2 full heals and 1 sub weapon. Yeah, see, I didn't wait long enough, but he bumped me, and I could have tried to full back my way past him, but I decided to wait. He still grabbed me because I was anticipating. Now look at that. Anyway, I was anticipating. I thought he was gonna open his dick head and start popping out his babies, his little poison sperm babies, but he didn't, and he bumped me and he grabbed me. But see, that's what I was thinking. If you're not quick when he opens his dick head, if you're not quick when he does that, he's gonna get you. Like, the babies are gonna come out and they're gonna clip you and keep pushing you back and poisoning you. And I just misread the signal. I thought he was getting ready to do that, and he wasn't. But it was no big loss, because I was prepared. I was prepared for it. And that's all this section is. It's preparation. Preparation and patience. We're going to be getting the most important weapon in the last half of the game here in 1 second. I'd like to take this guy out with a Matilda. Use my last remaining ammo, which I don't think I'll be using again, except a little bit on G3. The flamethrower and a couple of flash grenades is all you're going to need to take out the highly disconcerting boss of this stage, who goes by G3. He can be very difficult if you don't know what you're doing, and it pays to practice, because even the strategy that I'm employing here, which is not exactly a secret, it's been there since the first week the game was out. Like, the speedrunners started using it. It relies on timing and placement. So you've got to observe not just the point-by-point progression of what I'm doing, which is like press the button, throw the flash grenade, hit him with the flamethrower, wait for him to go down, push the button to summon the crate back, hit him with another flash grenade, and keep flaming him until he's toast. You know, invite him to the barbecue. That's true. That's all true. That's how you do it. But you gotta lure him in a certain direction because the flames aren't gonna put him down immediately. And if you're hanging out by the buttons, he's gonna follow you over to the buttons and he's gonna take a knee right next to him. And that's no good because the crate won't hit him if he's by there. So you gotta kind of circle around him and try to get into the far side of the platform so that he'll take a knee over there. And when you hit him with the flash grenade, he'll be ready to be taken out by the crate. Now I'm gonna get seriously fucked up here. He's gonna lunge at me, which like he rarely does that. I don't know why he did that, but it upset me. It put me in danger. Now, you see, you can get a look at their arms. You can really get a good look at them there. And like, tell me I'm being crazy. You try to squeak by these guys when they submerge, and it's like, you know, sometimes they let you by, sometimes they don't. I have a feeling it's a hitbox thing, like it's telling them that it's telling the AI or whatever that you're stepping on them. But I swear to God, I wasn't stepping on him. Anyway, I didn't really have a choice. Cause look at that lunge. What a bunch of bullshit, man. Fuck that. That's not canon. That's not canon, man. Bullshit. Yeah, but anyway, you know, I beefed up my health beforehand, and then I beefed up my health afterwards. And you give yourself plenty of leeway if you do that. You just assume you're going to fuck it up, or you're going to get fucked up, and prepare accordingly. I handled this guy wrong. There's a better way to deal with this guy, which is to bait his lunge attack, run back, and then run past him. It works pretty reliably, and I wasn't really feeling like baiting anybody after what just happened to me, so I played it a little safe, and made it harder for myself to get past that guy. So we're done with the sewers now, and remember this. How long did this take? Like 17 minutes or something? If you made it to the first save, I mean, who gives a shit if you screw up on the G monsters? Your next save is going to be right after you beat this guy, and this guy is easy. You might mess up once on him, you might mess up twice, no big deal. It's not a long level, all right? And you could pretty much run it until you get a perfect run. And you won't suffer any huge losses at all. And in my view, the sewers are much harder than the RPD and Mr. X. So, you know, if you want a section where you can play over and over again until you get it right, it's definitely the sewers. And like I was saying about G3, despite the fact that he is easy... I'm sorry, G3. G2. This is G2. This is not G3. I don't know how long I've been saying fucking G3, but he's G2. The second form of Birkin. As easy as he is, in theory and I guess in practice, it's still easy to screw it up. He's still a little unpredictable. For example, I've run this before, and I swear to God I've nailed the strategy to a T, and he hasn't. He survived. He did not go down in one cycle. Now, I don't know. I'm sure there's a rational explanation for it, but I couldn't tell you. Another thing. This is not a big deal, but it did happen. His hand comes down 5 times from the ceiling, unless you do damage to him, in which case it'll come down once or twice or whatever. But max 5 times. Always. I mean, I don't think I ever had a time when it came down more than 5 times, but one time I got it on tape if anybody wants to see it, but I was running this, I was trying to film my walkthrough, and the fucking thing came down 6 times. After the 5th time I went over to the door and it came down in a 6th time and it hit me. And I just thought, what the hell? I must have been spacing out or something, and I miscounted. But I watched the film, and I did not miscount. Fucking hand came down 6 times. So, you know, that's the trolling shit I was talking about earlier with this game. It's not entirely consistent. Oh, I want to mention this. When you're running from him, hug the left wall. If you're getting pissed off because he's always kind of hitting you when you're jumping down this platform, if you hug the left wall, he blows his load early and attacks early, and you won't get hit when you go down here. That's a word to the wise. So hit here, watch carefully, throw the flash grenade, blind. Start flaming him, but move to his right, okay? Because he is going to chase after you. He will not go down immediately. He'll make an attack on you, a jump attack or a slash attack, then he will go down. Flame him until you have about 150 to 130. Press the button.
Now I got you.
Get ready to throw another flash grenade. Okay? And then just invite him to the barbecue. He's done. So that's it. That's the technique, and it's really easy to screw it up. If you forget, you know, and you're like, why isn't he going down? There's a timing issue to when he goes down. You have to wait for the flame, the cumulative flame damage to work its magic on him. But if you looked at what I did, look, and if he hits you, like when he jumps at you or slashes at you, who gives a shit? You know, you're bringing some healing items. Just heal up. He'll go down. He'll go down a second after he hits you. The point is, once he goes down, heal up, go back, press the button, and then
Where'd you get that?
sayonara, put him on the charcoal. So that's it. And now you're coming to probably the easiest part in the game. It might even be easier than Mr. X's part, except for the fact that there's a little bit of RNG at the end with the Ivies, who are one-hit kills. And it's not necessarily enough to just load up on knives and counterattack weapons, because Mr. X is going to be chasing you at the end. So if you take too much time dilly-dallying, or your path is blocked by 4 Ivies, you know, what can you do? You can try to shotgun them, but I've had 3 or 4 Ivies blocking my path at the end before. I shotgunned 2 of them, and Mr. X cut me off. And here's the thing. Flash grenades don't work on Ivies. And it is okay, I guess, to try to use a flash grenade, but a frag grenade, man, look, you're going to be saving right in the main hub of the lab, and it's very short. So, I mean, if you get screwed on that part, who cares? I mean, it sucks, but it's really no skin off your ass to do the lab again. It'll take 15 minutes at most. It's not a big deal at all. It's very short if you know what you're doing. This is why I didn't get a chance to plug my saving strategy earlier, because I was trying to kind of comment on the gameplay, but I highly recommend getting the pain out of the way early rather than saving it for X and then the sewers, like that big chunk of gameplay. But, you know, that's me. I've discussed it with people, and I know people who just, you couldn't get them to replay the RPD like if you held a gun to their heads. Like, nothing chaps their ass more or gets their dander up than thinking about starting over from the gas station. Like, they just cannot. They would rather do anything than start over from the gas station. You know, if a run gets fucked for them. But for me, I would much rather do that than, say, keep having to play Mr. X and the sewers and maybe like Birkin 2 over and over again, or the sewers and the lab over again, or whatever. Like, it's just those first two sections of the game up until Ada's section are ones that I know I can get right if a few things break my way. And if you remember what I told you that I did wrong in the early section of the RPD, it'll be even easier for you. You don't have to kill those 3 guys in the library. You just have to kill the woman. I mean, that's really easy. And the liquor, you don't have to worry about the liquor. You can just run past him, just like you're going to see me do in the labs here. There's really very little danger once you understand just how safe you can be while killing most things in the RPD. And really, like I said, it's just you're worried about Birkin 1 and the dogs, because X isn't going to get you if you know what you're doing. He's not going to get you. So why not? Why not just go and save before Ada's section, or after if you feel comfortable with it. But Ada's section can be... I had a run end because I got bold and tried to finish off Ada's section before saving, and I never made that mistake again. It's not like Sherry's section. Sherry's section is pretty easy, but Ada's has... it depends on, like, getting a stun shot if you're going to try to do it quickly, like running, like you saw in this video. I did the stun shot method. Or if that zombie that was on the ground, luckily in this run, is standing up like he or she usually is, you're going to run back behind to the left, the area that you're in, and there will be some handgun bullets and a flash grenade. And you want to kind of try to bait 2 or 3 of the zombies in your general vicinity, chuck the flash grenade, and then make a run for the elevator. But things can go south very quickly in Ada's section, in that one room with those zombies, and they gang up on you. So, you know, you got 1 coming at you from the front, you got 2 coming at you from the back, and you got 1 coming at you from the side. And if for some reason, you know, your bullets don't stun the guy fast enough in his leg, or you didn't get to him fast enough, he'll bite you, and then immediately someone from your left or your back will bite you, and game over. And that's what happened to me. So I just recommend saving before Ada's part. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass if you screw up the sewers, but if you're careful with your heals, and you give yourself buffers for the G monsters, it won't be that big of a problem. I don't think I had to shoot that Ivy. You can just run by him, which I do on my Claire walkthrough. I screwed up the code on the second code here because I was confusing it with mixing it up with the B scenario. I think I typed in like 2047 when it's 2067, and I think the what is it on B? It's 2048, I think, on B. Anyway, it's built to be confusing.
Dispensing solution.
Yeah, what are we doing here? Yeah, we're getting the canister with the shit. The canister with the shit. We're gonna go to the this puzzle here, which is so simple even I can understand it. You're gonna put the thing in the thing, and then you're gonna press on the thing.
Manual mode engaged. Adjust amount of solution
It's
to match
highly
cartridge capacity.
intricate and complicated. You need a lot of high-level math and spatial reasoning to be able to figure it out. But, you know, thankfully, I got the answer, and I can just tell it to you. So, you know, you don't need to have won the genetic lottery. Yeah, seriously though, it's even on the B scenarios, it's simple.
Jesus.
With these guys, the most important thing you want to do is like watch your six, because they like to crowd up on you from front and back, which is why you saw me peek behind me there. I can't tell you how many times I've taken aim at an Ivy in front of me and shot him, and then all of a sudden I get grabbed by one behind me that I didn't know was there. So yeah, just keep an eye on your 6 with those guys, and when you come out of here, look to your 3 and your 9, because again, they're going to try to close in on you. These guys have splitting headaches. All right, now watch this. Run, and then, you know, just move right, and he'll jump past you. That's exactly what you want to do with the liquor in the RPD. It's exactly what you want to do. Curve right or curve left, it doesn't matter. He'll jump at you and he'll miss. That's one instance where patience is not the answer in this game. It's facing your fears head on. I'll tell you one thing, like that zombie I just blew his head off in my Claire playthrough. You guys will see this. I had the Magnum, right? Her Magnum, and the fucking guy fell down on the stairs, and I like literally pressed my Magnum up against his fucking head and pulled the trigger. There is no way I did not headshot that guy. But when I came out of here, he was alive and he was angry and he grabbed me and bit me. It's one of the most bullshit things that has ever happened to me in this game. More so than fucking Birkin 2's hand coming down 6 times. You know, that is what makes this so hard. Really, like it's the RNG, and it is sick and beyond belief at times. It's a flaw, in my opinion. It's a flaw. I just think they went overboard with it. Some variability, and like I put it before, some interesting unpredictability is good. It's a good thing, and I don't mind it. Like Akumu mode on the Evil Within has a lot of that. Some of it's bullshit, but most of it isn't. It is provided you know the game well enough. And on this one, though, I mean, what are you gonna do about that? Like, you get the headshot, and I swear I got it. I heard the squish, and at any rate, I was at point blank range with my gun in his face, and I pulled the trigger. And you know, I got headshots by hitting people in the neck before from 10 feet. There is no way I didn't get a headshot on that guy, but I thought I did. And you know, you make assumptions, and unless you see that, like, in living color, in full, right in front of your face, that head split open like a fucking ripe watermelon, like, you cannot assume. You just, that's how the game keeps you apprehensive. I'm sorry, I had to switch my controller here because one of my controllers, it's very bizarre, but when I do the Murph, like the frequency puzzles, there's something wrong with the controller, I guess, because it just keeps turning the dial, and I can't stop it. So it just goes and it's really annoying. So that's what you saw there. I had to switch my controller to one that was not broken. This is all standard stuff that's going on right now. I'm sure you can follow the path with relative ease. And the only other noteworthy thing is we're just walking patiently by the liquors. If you find yourself like in a tough spot with a liquor, like you're gonna see me get into in a moment, you get them on your scent and you back up into a doorway or something, they'll go away. They do it in the dog kennel in Claire's campaign. Like that liquor is always kind of blocking your path when you're coming back from the morgue. If you walk up to him and let him smell you and then walk quietly back to the door, he'll go climb up on the wall. And you'll see the same thing happen with this liquor out here. Don't get depressed or think they're not going to let you by or you have to shoot a fucking shotgun at them or something. Nah, they'll go away. Patience. Patience. We're just getting ready for the final encounter here, which is I'm just praying it's gonna go well. I'm bringing 2 knives just in case, and yeah, crossing my heart and hoping to die, and sticking a needle into my eye. So here's the liquor blocking my path. And I just wait for him to see if he makes a move. I walk up to him, I believe, and let him kind of half aggro on me. He smells Leon from far away. I guess Leon hasn't showered in a while. And then let him go away. Let him vamoose. Let him peace out. There's some large gunpowder here, which we're going to use to make shotgun ammo. I think we should talk about G3 before we get to him. And so I'm checking my 3 and I'm checking my 9. And there you go. G3 is a lot easier than G2, and you're in a much bigger arena. Part of what makes G2 so hard is the restrictions that you're placed under due to the smallness of the platform. But with G3, you're in a very big arena, and consequently, it's pretty easy to keep your distance from him. And that's really all it comes down to: keeping your distance and being able to know when to close on him and shoot his eyes. And of course, knowing his dodge attack, his jump attack, how to dodge it. He has 3 phases. His first phase is really, 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 really easy. Really easy. All you have to do is just run at him to his left. Run at him and to his left, almost like through his left arm. Okay? And he'll attack you with his other arm. I'm sorry, it's his right arm. You're running to your left, his right. And he'll always kind of try to push you with his left hand, and you can easily get behind him and shoot the eye on his back. And then when he takes a real swing at you, when you do that, you know, he stuns himself, and then you can poke at his eye on his shoulder, or poke at his leg if you didn't pop it in the beginning. But anyway, it's really easy. Like, the first phase is no problem. The third phase is really easy because you just use your flamethrower. If you use all your flamethrower juice on him, provided you used it all like I did on G2, if you use all the flamethrower juice you get in this stage on him, he'll have about 1 HP left by the time you're done, so you can just pop him once with the shotgun or hit him with the Matilda, whatever. Throw a grape at him. He'll die. So the third phase is really easy. The only problem then is the second phase. And he has a variety of attacks that he does in the second phase. The most troublesome of which is the jump attack. What you need to know is a certain subtle detail with the jump attack, which is when you're far away from him, and you'll know, like, there's no exact science on what distance exactly is far, but when you're kind of far from him and he gets in his jump animation, you might try to run under him. That's not a good idea. Usually he's going to grab you if you try to run under him and he's jumping at you from far away, unless you're extremely quick. And you probably won't be. Now, if he's close to you and he does jump at you from close distance at times, or mid-range, you can usually safely run under him. And that's my inclination. I usually like to run under him, but I kept getting fucking caught trying to run under him when he was jumping at me from far away. It just doesn't work. Run to the side. If he's jumping at you from far away, run to the side. Left or right, just horizontally from where you are. I'm going to get the ammo pack here, by the way, and you should too. It's really just, I don't know how long it is, a minute 30 seconds or whatever, and there's no hassle. It's really easy, so why not get it? It just makes G3 a hell of a lot easier. It certainly makes the last boss a lot easier because you can take more healing items and feel safer, because you do have to, if you saved where I did, you do have to do both of these bosses in one go. And just get it. Why not? Unless you're doing a speed run, and I don't know why you'd be watching this video for speed run tactics and strategy. This is a walkthrough for morons, of whom I'm very much a member. I was a moron who did this, and I want to share with my fellow morons, my gang, my horde of morons, but safe and fast enough ways to do this. So, yeah, with G3, you want to run to the side if he's jumping from far away, but if he's in mid or close range, you can just run under him. Other than that, he's got a 4-hit combo, and you'll know when he starts to go into it. He'll swing wildly with one arm, then swing wildly with the next, and about at that point, your brain should be going, 4-hit combo. He's fucked. You move back, let him swing 1, 2, 3, and then with his fourth, he's going to do this huge lunge attack, and you just run straight at him, like right past him, just like you did in his first phase. And after he lands it, he's going to be stunned for quite a while, and you can just run right up to his shoulder or his back and just go to town.
All right. Now back to
He gets off a couple of those. Sometimes he fakes you out and does one swing or 2 swings, and whatever. It happens. You're probably going to get hit a couple of times. It's no big deal. You're going to have healing items galore. The only other attack he does outside of those that is can take you by surprise, it's like this 360 swing. And he tends to do it when you're kind of close to him and you're pushing up on him too much in his second phase. And he literally just takes his arm and just swings it in a full circle. So if you don't get away from him, if you don't start running away quickly enough, he's just going to hit you, and there's nothing you can do about it. I believe I get hit by it in this fight, and it rather surprised me, because I hadn't seen him really do that to me before, but he did it, and I was like, whoa. So that's your goal, get through the easy phase 1, pop all of his eyes, no problem, and then in phase 3, barbecue him, no problem. The only problem is phase 2, and that just involves keeping your distance mainly, and dodging his jump attacks, because if you're going to be keeping your distance, he's going to be jumping at you. and it helps to practice that. It really does. So again, I recommend making a test save and practicing some on G3. And if you're following my save strategy, you don't even have to make a test save. I mean, this is your save. Just keep playing them until you get them down.
Attention, unauthorized removal of a level 4 virus detected. Facility lockdown initiated. Self-destruct sequence
Um,
lockdown is complete.
What else?
Attention,
That's
unauthorized
it.
removal of a level
Just watch what I do. I don't play it perfectly. I mean, I always get hit on this guy because I do get a little impatient, just because I want to get up there and pop his fucking eyes and stop dicking around with him. I play it more careful when I get on danger, but you see, I just 1, 2, bam. Okay, ready? Try to shoot the eye and then just whoop. I mean, it's really easy, and the only time you get fucked is when you're doing what I'm doing right there. That was a calculated risk. I was trying to shoot his eye on his shoulder when I shouldn't have. I should have just ran past him, and he nailed me. But I don't really care because I still got some healing items, and I'm just trying to make it go quickly. This was really stupid. He should have hit me with that, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, I guess. Alright, so phase 1 over. I'm gonna start jacking him in his chest. I don't know what that is. A chest abscess or something. An abscess or a hernia coming out of his chest. There's the jump. See, I ran under it because he was close to me. Alright. And, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. There it is. And I mean, he's stunned for so long. I just take out the Matilda and get busy on that fucking eye on his thigh. Up to the side. And why'd I go to the side? He was far away. If I had tried to run under that, he would have caught me. There's the 360. Look at that. Holy shnikes. Man, he fucked me up with that. I had never seen that before. That 360 swipe, that is nasty. See, and I'm getting hit now. Don't let that, like, if you don't feel comfortable with this boss, don't let that, like, make you think it's harder than it is. I'm being kind of stupid, and I'm just trying to make it go fast. So I'm staying really close to him, and he's gonna hit you if you do that, like if you don't keep your distance from him in his second phase. But anyway, I popped his last eye, and that's it. It's over. We've invited him to the barbecue, and he's gonna be extremely well done. You don't have to worry. He's gonna go and pick up this thing and try to throw it at you, and just stay to the side of it. Keep frying him. And then when you run out, just, try to hit him in his, I've heard that when, in his final phase here, like when he starts lighting up, he takes damage like anywhere on his body. So I don't think you necessarily have to get a direct hit on him, but I've heard contradictory information on that. All I can tell you is, I don't particularly aim anywhere on the last phase, and I believe on Claire, I just kind of fired blindly at his back and he died, so I don't know. I don't know. Try to hit him in the chest if it's open, but otherwise just, he really doesn't have a lot of health left after that, and it's not a big deal. So now we're off to see the wizard, namely the tyrant, who is the bane of my existence. You already know my opinion on tyrant. I think he should have been left to the B game, but if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we would all have a merry time playing Resident Evil 2. But he's not a bad boss, and I actually think they did a very good job on the end of this game. It ends very strong. That's my opinion. I think it ends very strong. In fact, most of my favorite games, they usually end quite weak. Even Resident Evil 4, after the amazing bosses that they had throughout all that game, like Sadler was, he wasn't terrible, it just was nothing special. A little anticlimactic and very easy. In The Evil Within, which is probably my favorite game of all time, Ruvik is absolutely terrible. The final boss, Ruvik, is just... It has, like, every terrible mechanic and, like, Dead Space imitation shit I've ever seen. It's awful. It's tough to end strong. It really is. Especially when you're aiming for a masterpiece. You're aiming for what I called earlier a pure video game, to give you that pure video game experience. A kind of pure experience, in this case a kind of horror, survival horror experience. Having the climax is really difficult because it's not just another piece in the story. It's the capstone. It's what cements it. It's what puts the stamp on it. It's what puts the big Bing cherry on the sundae. And it's not easy to do that. And I really think this game ends on a high note. It does, at least on the A scenarios. I'm not going to comment on the B scenarios. I don't particularly like them, but you know, they're all right. Nothing special, but these endings, you know, the bosses are cool. They're not overdone. They're not overcooked. G3 is a little generic, but he's kind of fun. At least once you learn his patterns and his rhythms, you can groove with him. You can get a rap. Let me look at this. These... Yeah. I'm not sure if you can just run by these guys as Leon. I really thought you could, but it doesn't seem that way. You definitely can with Claire, because I just did it. But, yeah. You can check other videos and be on the lookout for that, because I'm just not sure. But it didn't feel like I could run by those guys this time, so I had to shoot. Mr. X's gonna drop down there. Just hook a left and kite him around. It's really no big deal. To come back to what I was saying, the final bosses are pretty cool. They give the illusion of being incredibly difficult, but if you take the right approach to them and you've played the survival horror game like a survival horror game, you know, learned your path and learned what weapons are important to save and, you know, you don't need to use throughout most of the game, they become quite manageable. You're about to see why I haven't been using my frag grenades and my flash grenades for the entire game. And believe me, you're probably gonna wish you had done the same if you wound up expending more of them than I did. This boss can be very hard to dodge again and again. You know, a couple of times like I do, if you're baiting out his jump attack or his you know, his kind of 1, 2, 3 swing attack from far enough away, that's dodgeable at least once, and then you can chuck a grenade and get some distance from him. But again and again, you know, I've seen people do it, but it's hard. It's very hard, and it requires a great deal of skill that I probably don't have and never could have, honestly. So in that situation, you want to do essentially what Carcinogen taught the world to do in his initial no damage video. I mean, this is strictly Carcinogen right here. I'm gonna give full credit where it's due. He brought this to my attention. He brought it to everybody's attention. I'd never seen anybody do it before him. I'm not saying he was the first, but he was the first I was aware of. And this is it. You chuck a grenade at him, stagger. Just let him keep. It's very self-explanatory. You just don't want to spam him too much because you'll wind up wasting him. You want to stagger him with the grenades so that he doesn't get too close to you, and when he attacks, he does that. That wasn't good, but I'll show you what we're looking for. Come on. There. That's what we're looking for. Like, you wanna just kind of draw that out of him, so you're not dealing with him in close quarters. That's when he's really dangerous. Otherwise, he has this one-hit kill. I was lucky enough to have a flash grenade left over to hit him with and interrupt it, but it's not hard. Leon goes like, "Oh shit, oh no, not good," and then he crosses his arm in this Excelsior move. There it is. You just shoot him in the chest. Just pop him with the Matilda a bunch of times, or hit him with the shotgun, and he will, deviate. I made a mistake here. I ran like left into his arm. If you kind of hesitate for a split second and then run in and kind of go to the right when you grab the rocket launcher, he'll whiff. He's done it every time I've played him. And that time I just derped it and ran right into his arm. Probably because I was like,
"You lose, big guy."
And then of course I can't do that because I can't no damage anything. I am complete. I can beat S+ and do all that shit, but I can't no damage anything. I am too derpy, man. I fuck everything. That's the end of the game, and it's short and sweet, and we finished with plenty of time. As I said, I think the Leon run was about 2 hours, and I apologize for not being able to really comment on every single little detail I wanted to comment on. My usual practice is to do live commentary, but it's just not appropriate in videos like this specifically, where it has to be fast and people have to see you running it. You can't pause and explain every little thing you're about to do because it doesn't visually give the viewers a way to understand how the pathing should look, going from point A to point B, the flow of the thing, and like that's what they need to get viewers need to get an idea of for a walkthrough, specifically for something like an S+ on porn mode. On porn mode in Resident Evil 2 Remake. So I decided to film the video and then do the commentary afterwards, something I've never done before, and it was pretty hard. Actually, it was not easy to pick and choose like the relevant things to talk about at times. I did make notes beforehand, so I didn't miss anything and like totally crucial and totally essential to the walkthrough. But there were moments where I had to interrupt some other point I was making, and I didn't get to explain much about the sewers or the labs, but I figured most people are watching these videos on the sewers and labs and so forth with no commentary. And my own videos that I was... My own preferred videos that I learned the most from were mostly no commentary videos. And along those lines, before I forget, I want to shout out some people who helped me a great deal. First of all, Carcinogen. I learned a lot from his early no damage strats. his later ones, as Carcinogen gets more skilled in a game, particularly in the speed running aspects of it, his strategies become more and more difficult for me to apply because they require more and more skill. But that first video he made, the Leon A no damage run, it wasn't even an S run. It was just a no damage run. It was like a first, he was experimenting with things. I learned a lot, particularly in pathing, from that video. And he doesn't really use that stuff anymore. A lot of it. I learned a lot from Trance, the flamethrower strategy on G3. I'm sorry, fuck me, G2. The flamethrower strategy on G2 with the flashbangs and how to do a one cycle on him. Learned that from Trance, watching one of his early speed runs. Let's see. There's another guy from GameFAQs who I came to know gradually. He goes by the name Emo Banger on GameFAQs. On YouTube, he is gaming with a panda. He was doing really good work on Leon early and was really trying to devise strategies along the lines that I've tried to devise them for noobs. And he's a mild-mannered guy, soft-spoken, really puts a lot of work in and does good work. I recommend his walkthroughs as well. I think he's done a lot of practice in live streaming, so you might have to dig him up. Perhaps I can do that and put links to the videos that I'm referring to down there. And that's it. That's my S Plus walkthrough for Leon A, and Claire will be coming anon. Hope you all got something out of it, at least entertainment, if no help, and weren't too pissed off by my opinions and all of that. And if you are, just try not to be as RNG-like and dickish and trollish as this fucking game is. Don't be Mr. X. Don't do that. Be cool to me, I'll be cool to you. We can discuss it. And have a nice day. See ya.